listen, hey, listen, we're not going to waste no time tonight. Hello, everybody, and welcome to Sunday Night Stock Zoom call. I hope you had a productive last week and you're having a powerful weekend. Looking forward to a prosperous upcoming week in the market. Family, this is not financial advice. This Zoom is for entertainment, education, empowerment, so you can make your own personal financial choices. All financial decisions made by viewers should be done after talking with a licensed professional. Hey, Janaya, what's happening in this week's market? Talk to us.
Thank you, Mr. Griff. Good evening, SNS family. I'm here to just give you all a few updates for what will be happening this week, starting with Monday. International Business Machines, IBM, ticker symbol IBM, has its earnings call, along with Caterpillar, ticker symbol CAT. They will give their dividends on Monday. Tuesday, Netflix, ticker symbol NFLX, will have its earning call, along with Philip Morris International, ticker symbol PM. They'll give their shareholders dividends. And Nvidia Corporation will have a stock split to its investors. So congrats to Pastor Barrow, who will receive shares in the stock split. And that's ticker symbol NVDA. And then Wednesday, Johnson & Johnson, ticker symbol J&J, will have their earnings call. Novartis AG will have its earnings call. Coca-Cola will have its earnings call as well. Thursday, AT&T will have their earnings call. Friday, American Express, ticker symbol AXP, will have their earnings call. Kimberly-Clark Corporation, their stock will have their earnings call on Thursday. And then last but not least, Twitter and Snap will also be having their earnings calls this week. And back to you, Mr. Griff.
Oh, thank you. Listen, family, that's what's happening this week in the market. Hey, you got to write it down. You got to be ready if you're in those positions. But listen, family, Friday was a sell-off. Oh, yes, it was. It wasn't pretty. Family, it was like a slow starting movie, a bad movie that you wanted to end within the first 10 minutes of the show. But to help us better understand what's really going on, we got our brother, Mr. Canada, AKA Buffett. Welcome back, Carter. Talk to us, Buffett. What's happening,
yes,
man?
Sir. Yes, sir, man. I wish I knew, but I don't. So, but I try to call what I can, man.
Yes, sir.
Hope all the family as well. Hope everybody's doing good. Showing much love.
Yes, sir. Look like you're freezing a little bit, Buff. Did he freeze up on us?
Okay, can you hear me now?
Yeah, we got you.
Okay, yeah, my internet was going in and out. So my apologies. So I hope the family is doing well. So just want to kind of give a quick update. Sorry about that. Running up and down, Doc. Had a couple of little meetings and trainings I had to kind of finish up, but I got it out the way, Doc. So
hey, it's good seeing you, man. It's good seeing you back on SNS.
Yes, definitely. Hey, listen, love to be on here, man. Love to chat with family, man. It's always a good thing.
Amen.
All right. So, Doc, did you give me presentation rights, Doc?
Yes, sir. They should be there.
Okay. So give me 1 second, and I'm going to put up a little portfolio and share it with everybody. All right, Doc, can everybody hear me good, Doc? I don't know if it's still going in and out.
Yeah, we got you good, loud and clear.
Okay, perfect. So I'll be real quick and brief. Got a couple things, other ones I got to finish up with a couple of meetings here. But I want to be quick and brief and talk to everybody about Friday and the bleed out. Because I know right now, okay, perfect. Whenever there's a time and the stock market starts to dip, a lot of people begin to panic and they begin to sell. So I just wanted to kind of put something real quick and fast for everybody, so you kind of just know exactly what you're dealing with. And then some of these you can kind of take, so that way you'll know and you'll be more knowledgeable of the situation. So right now you may have 3 questions, maybe more. Should I sell? How long will this take? How long will this bleed last? What are my risk factors? So right now you have a few risk factors in terms of whether you should buy, whether you should get out. And you have a lot. I try to encourage people, don't be too panicked. Don't worry. Because you have to remember, first of all, in the beginning, that when you jumped into the stocks, you did it for a particular reason. So maybe your reason was that particular organization, business, they were you was investing in them because of their potential, because of their potential to make a mass amount of money in the future. Well, that hasn't changed. So you don't want those little dips to be a reason that you tend to get out. So let's go right ahead and look at top reasons for a sell-off, because a lot of times we really don't know or understand why a sell-off occur. And I'm not going to touch on all, but just on a few. Um, Sometimes overseas, the market and there's an economy overseas that will impact as a sell-off. Economic data, the interest rates, that could impact the sell-off. Future data, and I'm going to talk about each. I'm going to talk about 4 sectors, really 3 pretty much, in the next series of slides. Sometimes you may have a buy at the open. An analyst ratings may change. So if a group, if it's a particular sector where it's buy, they may go from buy to sell. So then that will impact pricing. Social media, blogs, maybe some news out there, negative news possibly that could happen. And of course, the Friday trading and the midday trading. So these are some of your key factors as to why a particular stock when there's a sell-off. But let's look into how it impacts us more so. So for the future data, the inflation concerns. So reports are suggesting that the inflation will be on the rise. And of course, with that one, your dollar may be hampered a little bit because of the rising prices. As a result of that concern and as a result of the meeting, you have a few people of concerns as far as investors who are saying, you know what, because of these inflations, a couple of things may go down. So as a result, they make a habit to sell. Okay. Now, is inflation a concern? It is a concern. But again, going back to my original reason, I would not use that as a way to sell. Okay. Next, a lot of people don't know this, options impact. And I know a lot of people may not understand the options, but just keep this in mind. There was a record surge in option trading this month, and I'm going to go over it really quickly. Roughly 534 billions of options to change hands on average each day this month. Last year, the average was 367 billion. So what happens is a lot of those contracts that are expiring, and if you're an option trader, you will understand the verbiage. If not, we can talk about it off channel. But if you are option traders, there was a lot of those contracts in expiration. And so you have those contracts being sold. As a result, that also caused an impact in the stock market itself to decline. Next, obviously, COVID concerns. Because of the fast spreading of the Delta, you have a lot of investors a little nervous, and they have some deep concerns over how is this going to impact moving forward. So let's take a look at one. So if you are investing in the cruise line, which the cruise lines are the last particular entity that we have that can come up. If you're investing in cruise lines and you know if there's a COVID concerns and there's more of the variant that's occurring, you may say to yourself, maybe now would not be the right time to get in. So then you have those concerns as well. And that's why if you look at the cruise line sector, pretty much they was all down from Royal Caribbean and of course Carnival. All right. Now, here's a final step to look at. So but stocks will generally rise as from investors buying low to help build the value back up. So I just gave 2 quick potential buys, and I'll talk about that shortly. But if you are an investor last week and coming into Monday, you're going to look at your stock saying everything is on sale because so many of the stocks decline. You're looking at an opportunity to purchase. So let's look at 2 just as an example of a potential buy. So you have JMIA. It's at 22.60. Well, there was a mark at one point about couple of weeks ago, rather, it was sitting at the $31 mark. So right now that stock have dropped a few. So then you're going to have some investors that's going to come back in and going to say, hey, listen, at that 22.60, that's a great chance, a great buy for me to come up and maybe get it back to the $30 mark. Same thing with ChargePoint, currently sitting at about 22.96. Could be a great buy for you to get back in there as she rides up to the $30 mark. So, and there's a few stocks you have Fiverr. I didn't put it on there simply because of how the price of it is. The $200 stock now after the drop off, but it was sitting at $250 about a few weeks ago. So there's a few stocks out of there saw a huge decline. So my point of it is be patient. And those stocks that you have faith in, that you've done your due diligence and you've done your research, they will improve over time. So I know a lot of people took losses. I was telling Griff, I mean, I took a loss of about 80 plus $1,000, but it's okay. And I shouldn't say it's a loss because it wasn't from my actual personal bank account loss, rather it was from some of the stocks that I had made that was profitable at that time. So it happens. But again, that's not reason for me to sell, okay? Because some of those stocks were still strong. And because of the belief that I had in them and I still have in them, I know that they will go up. So I just want to kind of put this together, something really, really fast, because I have a lot of groups that I speak to, and a lot of people are freaking out and they're selling, but I'm trying to get people to just be patient. And the more patient you are, I'm quite sure those stocks will rise. So that's my closing right there, Doc. Do you hear me, Doc?
Yeah, I hear you real good. What I want to do right now, I think Kev's on. Kev, let's do a quick Q&A before I get into the show tonight. And let's keep Buffett on while we got Buffett on, because we don't get a chance to get him often because, like I say, he's very busy. And if anybody got any questions for him before we start with the green energy tonight, Kev, it's on you.
Yeah, no problem, man. You just hit it. So if anybody has any questions, feel free to ask, and we'll open up the forum for a little dialogue at this time before we get into the rest of the content.
Hey, Griff, my question is this to either Kev, Buffett, or yourself. We like to politely use the word market correction, and some of the people that are faint of heart will use the word crash. How wary are we to be of what we're seeing, not just for, say, July, but let's say as we approach September and October, and historically, all of the major crashes look like they've occurred in October. What should be our concern concerning a possible market correction?
Yeah, Pat, if you're still there, if you want to jump on that when you put that eloquent presentation together. So if you want to share some insights on that, and then we can add some filler. I think Pat's connection might be a little tough.
I'm sorry, it's coming in. I say it again because I'm having a hard time. Say what you said again.
Pastor Burrell,
I apologize.
Yeah, I was asking a question concerning a possible market correction. We don't like to use the word crash, but how wary as investors are we to be concerning that possibility?
All right, I think he may have frozen again.
Talk to us, Kev. Talk to us.
Yeah, man. You know what? I could just tell you, what I've learned in the past with every other, I'll call it the market correction, and I'm gonna go all the way back to 2008 when we had that tough one with that subprime, mortgage lending crisis. I was just talking to a few people about that this evening. And, Tim and I talk about this sometime, man, and it always confused me, man, when I used to hear people say that they lost everything. And I never understood it. And I told Tim one day, I said, why I think they lost everything, man, is I think that these people panicked and they started selling off, when the markets were dropping out. So a lot of the money that they had out there, they lost it. They still had the positions, you know what I mean? But things had reduced itself 30, 40, 50%. So they may have been at a time where they were looking to retire and they panicked and they sold, you know what I mean? And they lost half of their retirement or half of their savings. I never really understood it until I looked at it that way. But what I was telling Tim, I said, you know what? They still had the positions. And we talk about photogenic memory all the time. I said, had they held on, and I know some people who held on, they got more profitable. They had time to hold on, but they became more profitable, when the markets came back and doubled and tripled. So it's a tough way to answer your question. I think it really depends on, the individual, what your expectations are with this investing. My thing is, I'm in a position not to worry about it too much, because I got a little time on my side. So, based on what I've seen last time, you know, I got to toughen the screws a little bit, you know, and just hold on, and try to weather through it. You know,
Pat,
so
you want to
that's the way
jump in on that?
Yeah, let me and again, I apologize for the my internet connection, but let me say this, and I'm gonna try to answer as much of the question that I heard. So again, my apology. With market corrections, many people use that time, and like I said, I think Kev was just hinting on that or speaking on that, to sell off. However, my take on that is, I will tell you is, again, as you're doing your due diligence and your research on that particular company, based on what you know about that particular stock, I wouldn't have any worries in terms of whether you get out. That's not your concern, because if you think about it, if that particular stock, let's say Apple, who's moving towards trillions of dollars with their products that they have, if Apple takes a drop for me and it's a 20-30, I have no doubt in my mind that Apple will recover. That's not my problem. And I always use this example. If you have a problem with Apple dropping at a massive rate and some of these other stocks, I think that stocks will be the least of your concerns. Because if that's the case, we're in the end of the world. We're in the end times if that's the case. So I always look at it at that case, when you have some of those stronger stocks that you have, they're not going to drop to that level where it's going to be concerned. Even if they do drop, they will pick themselves back up. So I wouldn't be too overly worried. But again, it depends on how strong your hands are and how well you want to hold on to something.
Pat, wouldn't you say, or what would your opinion be? Because we definitely don't want to catch a falling knife. And we talked about a falling knife probably about a year ago. And I told you a falling knife is just a stock that's just falling and you think it's dipping, and you haven't had a chance to go a month back or 2 months to find out where the base of support is on that particular security. So we don't want to catch any falling knives, but I think some stuff is on sale. That's just me. Pat, I would definitely humbly want to know what you think about it, man. But I can't wait, man. I just can't wait till tomorrow, till the stock market opens. I'm ready to pounce. I just think some stuff is on sale, some stuff that I've been watching, and it's at a price that I want to really dive in. So, Buffett, what say you, man? Talk to me.
Yeah, same thing. I agree. There's a lot of things on sale, things that have dropped. But again, I'm gonna go back to the main point, and that's why for those who was in attendance for the presentation, that's why I go to my RCA. What was the purpose, the number one reason for why I purchased that particular stock? So when I'm thinking about that and I'm processing that, and I see a company like, for example, Wish, I'm very big on Wish, and someone could say, you know, Wish is still dropping. That's not my concern, because I've done enough research in Wish that I know Wish is going to be a very strong company in the future. I have no doubt. If I get it at 9 and it drops to 5, no sweat on my brow. Mainly because I know that stock will be 40, 50, 60, 70 in the future. So the drop doesn't concern me as it will on other people, but that's because we've done the research in the particular company. So going to your point, again, I'm very big on DraftKings. You hear me talk about DraftKings a lot. DraftKings is back down to, I think, 44. Great opportunity to buy. DraftKings is going to be a solid stock in the future. No worries on it. So DraftKings and Griff, you know this from talking to me a couple of times. You always hear me say that about it. I'm like, I'm not concerned about it. I'm not worried about it because I know how strong the product will be in the future. So again, but I can't speak on everyone else who may feel that, you know what, I don't want to take a loss temporarily at the moment. But as you start to invest and you get into your times and years in investing, you start realizing that I place more emphasis, and I would tell people, place more emphasis in the actual company and the direction it's going, as opposed to what's happening in the current, because that company in the future, what I'm looking at, will be fine. So I'll even throw the ball back to you, Griff. If someone tells you right now that Apple, and I'm just going to go back to them, it's just an easier sell, Apple is going to drop, or Amazon. You see that Amazon is dropping right now, and it's dropped 20, 30, 40, $50 or whatever. Are you panicking?
No, sir.
Amazon? I'm not.
No,
exactly.
sir.
And why wouldn't you panic on Amazon?
Because I've done the research, and I know Amazon is a company that'll be around the next 10, 15, 20 years. I know Apple will be around for the next 10,
Correct.
15, 20 years. And I'm telling you, I'm down with them like 4 flat tires, and I'm going to stay with them until they cut the lights off.
Exactly. And then you'll be the one that's sitting there profiting while a lot of people have sold. And then when they do try to get back in, because remember, when there's so many stocks for you to watch, sometimes you just out of memory, you may say, hey, you know what? I was watching it, but then all of a sudden I didn't realize it's back up $100, it's back up at 200. And then all of a sudden you can't get back in because the price is too high. And financially, you may not have that money available to you. So that's when that happens. So great point. And that's the thing I will tell you, be strong in these times. You will be fine. Trust me. And your goal is always you looking towards tomorrow and the future with that company. However, if you have a company that you're not strong on, again, going back to my RCAs, which is always the platform for which I use. And if that main reason is I believe in that individual who's running the company, and that gentleman drops out or that young lady drops out that company and the stock is falling, you're right, I'm not going to purchase it. Because the reason why I went into the purchase, that's no longer valid because that individual, whoever was running, is no longer there. So again, you always want to go back to your reason. What is your reason on why you purchase that particular stock?
Hey, Pat, Buff,
yes.
Let me ask you this here. Buff, if a stock was good at 25, shouldn't it be good at 21? Shouldn't it be good at 19?
In my eyes, it'll still be good there. Yeah.
Tim, let me jump in and say, you see what you said? If a stock is good at 25, should it be good at 21? Let's say it like this. If the company was good at 25 and the company is still doing their thing, is the company good at 21? Absolutely, I'm jumping in. You know, and I think, guys, the theme of what you're hearing here is my response, Buff's response, Tim's interaction. We saying the same exact thing. We saying the same thing. And this is how people become prosperous in this space. You know, the name of this game is buy low, sell high. And the way people get rich or generate that generational wealth is they get into these positions. When the stock starts to dip or have these market corrections, like Tim said, these are buying opportunities for a seasoned investor. You know, these are buying opportunities for a seasoned investor. And they jump in hard, they jump in hard, they jump in hard. And when these markets turn themselves around, they have 3 and 4 times the amount of money that they put into it. You know, so imagine yourself getting into a situation. I'm just going to throw a number out there and just say $10,000, you know, worth of discounts. You dove in and, man, I'm buying up everything. I got $10,000 worth of stuff. It's at the floor right now. And when this stuff turns itself around, those companies' stock are up 20, 30, 40%. You know, that 10 quickly turns into $50,000, $60,000. That's just how this works. You know, that is just, and Buff, you can correct me if I'm wrong, but what I've learned is that is how this works. Fundamentally, that is how this works. Sounds crazy, but this is how it works. So good companies, I don't worry about it.
Exactly. And then to everybody else, I want to throw this out there too, because I don't want it to be that this wasn't mentioned from myself or Kev or Tim. Everybody's financial situation is a little bit different. So, and everybody's faith is a little bit different. And I understand that. So if you are in a position right now and you see that your stocks have dropped and you may need that funding for something else, hey, God bless you. I'm not telling you not to make those sacrifices. The only thing that we're going to advocate is that be mindful those stocks and just be mindful, go back to your research and to your work and say to yourself, if it's strong enough based on the work that I've inputted and that company is strong enough, that business, their business model is strong enough, the investors are strong enough, their banking system is strong enough, their finances is strong enough, then I would encourage you to stay in. But of course, if you have a different financial situation and you can't be as patient right now, I totally understand. But I'm quite sure that the next time we come back in on maybe Sunday or in a few weeks, everything will be fine. And then some of those stocks that you saw that took a dip may rise up. So I'll make sure, Griff, that I come back in smiling in a few weeks, because you still may have a few red because of also the announcement that with the inflation's on the rise and some other things. So it may even be a large dip. So please pay attention to what's going on, so that way it can also dictate to you on which path to take.
Hey, Buff, before you go, hey, Roz in Detroit, can you unmute your line? I think this will be a great opportunity based on what we're talking about before we really get into tonight's show. Can you tell us what your experience was with this particular ticker symbol? I think it was CARV. And just tell us what happened, how long you were there, and how you made out.
Okay, that's Carve. I got in there was a time when Carve was just shooting up. Like within 2 days, they went from $7 to what, 20, almost $30. And when I got in, it was 19. Within a couple of days, it dropped back down to $7. So I held on to Carve for over a year and a half. And the Carve came back. So what I did was I did some cost averaging. When it was low, I just kept buying. And when Carve started rising back up, when it got past my $13.57, I jumped in and went on and cashed in. So I end up not losing a thing, but I had to hold on for it for a while.
So in other words, you jumped in a stock
Mhm.
that was really shooting up. It was moving in. You got in at 19, and then in a few days later, the stock did an about face and
Mhm.
went back to its original support, which was at $7.
Right. Mhm.
Would you care? How heavy were you in the stock?
Oh, shoot. Well, I bought originally 100 shares.
At
And
$19. Hold on. At $19. Kev, give me the math.
Yep.
1900, baby.
Okay.
And
So Roz was in a stock, SNS. She got in a stock that was moving up, and she jumped in at 19. Couple days later, 100 shares, that's 1,900. 100 shares, the stock in 2 days did an about face, went back to 7. Kev, give me the math. 700 shares. 700.
700.
So 700 if she'd have sold when it went back to 700 minus 1,900. Give me the math.
700. Oh, you said 1900 minus the 700?
Yes.
Yeah,
Yeah, that's
1200.
1200.
So Roz would have lost $1,200 had she got panicky or had she feared when it went back to 7, she'd have lost $1,200.
Mhm.
Back to Kev's original point, sometimes, people get scared and they just sell off because they don't know that stocks have a photogenic memory. So she'd have been out of $1,200. That's just in that one position, fam.
Mhm.
But what she did, go back to what Buffett was saying is that these companies are around. They're not going anywhere. They got strong books. And if you just hold the line, it'll come back, put you some dry powder, act like that red is not even in your portfolio. Because I got about 8-9 positions in my portfolio. They read it in my shirt. That's why I got on red today. I mean, they read it in my shirt. I act just like I don't even see them stocks. Because I know eventually they're going to come back and they're going to get green. Just like my wife's FAMU thing she got in the background. I won't see green. But right now, I'm not worrying about the red. So the point I just wanted to make, family, I know you probably have some red in your portfolio, but red will soon be good. And I'm gonna tell you what I do. We all Christians on here. Red is for the blood of Jesus. I just look, I say, I got the blood all in my bank account. Ain't nothing but the blood, So I just wanted Roz to come in because she shared that story. It's a powerful story. And I just hope that encouraged somebody's hearts. Buffett, before you go, man, give us some parting words before we chop it up to what we're going to talk about tonight. It is always good to have you, my brother.
Definitely. I will encourage this one too. If anyone is willing to sell, here's a strategy that you can use in terms of helping you in the future. If you sell a particular stock because of whatever reason it's dropping and you didn't feel like you should keep it, chart it. So that way, if it dropped, let's say it was at $20, I'm just calling out a number, and you sold it because it was at 15, it was at 14, and you didn't feel confident. What I want you to do is chart it for that week or even in the next week or two, and then see exactly where it moved back to. And it's the same process as what Roz was just talking about, the example and what she just used. Once you do that, that will give you the confidence to invest moving forward. And then you would have a better understanding even a stronger grip of your faith, because then you'll have an understanding saying to yourself that, you know what, I saw how this happened. It dropped a few dollars. The company was strong, but it went back up in a few days, and then you'll feel a lot better. So I would encourage you, that's only if you're going to sell. And even if you're not, just chart it. And then that way on Sunday you come back, or if you may even do something on Sunday's show where somebody may just sit down and say, hey, I was going to sell, but I stayed in there and my stock went back to where it was. And then they can share a success story, or they can even share the story itself, just saying, you know what, I did sell it, but I did look at it and it went back up, and it went back up. I would say do it over a 2-week period. And then hopefully you can have a few good tales to share next week.
Hey
Good.
Pat,
Like that.
you just talked about tells. You remember we talked about Tellurium?
Yes, sir.
Months ago.
Yes.
Well, I bought into Tellurium, and I know it's one of the ones y'all have eyes on. So you saw what it did, man. It
Yeah.
took a dive. I bought in at 369, and that thing went down as low as I think 170, or something like that at one point.
Mhm.
Well, that thing turned the corner, man, and ended up somewhere around $6. And I was heavy on it. I was heavy on it, trusted the process, trusted the company, Driftwood project that they're looking to do. They're still looking to build that,
Exactly.
So that work is still happening. So for me to jump out of it at this point and not trust the process, would be a little tough for me to do. You know what I mean? So that's another example, family. I got into a stock probably 9-10 months ago, and the expectation was that the company was going to jump a little bit faster in terms of the project. They needed to get funding. I bought more stock because I trusted the process. There was some good news coming out. I bought more stock because I trusted the process. Then there was a delay in the process, and the stock, it dropped like a hot knife. And I held in there. You know what I mean? So right now, to this day, I'm profitable in that stock because it turned the corner and came back and exceeded the price that I purchased it at. And that project hasn't kicked off yet. So I'm holding that stock in anticipation for that project. So you talk about a telling story. That's Tell. It's ticker symbol TELL. And I'm
Hey,
still in it.
Yeah, that was one of my babies. That's why I gave you guys, and I told
Absolutely.
you. And that's one. And for the most part, I'll say this before I have a signing off. For the most part, a lot of the tickers that I give you guys as a family, I don't expect it to be an overnight process, because the research suggested it's for years. So a lot of times you may get in and you may not see the instant growth. So a few of the stocks I gave you guys, like Gamble, GMBL, and I was telling you, you got to be patient with it. It's a long run. Will it go up? Definitely. Wish will go up. Tell, they will go up. Gap, was you guys got into Gap, had a little drop back, she'll be fine. DraftKings, you'll be fine. So with those, you don't have to worry. And if you get it at that early mark, don't set it, forget about it, you'll be fine. And it will continue to be profitable in the long run. And then maybe in a year, you'll finally see its growth. But those usually the ones I'm giving you guys is just really for the long haul. If it goes up in a month or two, God bless you. But for the most part, it's because of those future projects that we've done the research on that looks really, really good. And as a result, it will take off. So eventually you may have Gap now, as I keep advocating and bragging on it. In the future, you'll be happy when it goes to the $100 mark, because that's pretty much probably where it will be at. Will it be there now? No, of course not. It may take a year, it may take 2. Was hoping the clothing line would have been out by now. There's a delay with that. Can't control that, but eventually it will be. And if you have it, you have to just be very patient with the product. So that's what I got for everybody. Much love. Hope everybody continue to do well, make some money with it. And then Griff, when I come back in next week, I'll try to stop in for a brief second so everybody can share their story of how the stocks they got. It took a dip, then all of a sudden it went back up.
Hey man, appreciate you, Buff, man. Major salute to you, man. It's always a plum pleasing pleasure, man, to have a general such as yourself, man, to stop by and give us a good shout, man. Great presentation early on that you did as well, man. It's always good to have you here. Before we get started with tonight's show, I want to shout out to a new family member we have on, Xavier Delancey, man. Thanks for being on tonight on the show. And I also see one of my other brothers, man. I know he's been out serving. Dana, man, you got anything for us before we really get started, man? Good to see you out there, man.
Wow, Griff, I just wanted to add to the family, man, I'm about to, I apologize for this analogy, but I'm about to pee my pants. You know, really, honestly, this people, honestly, you really need to see this as an opportunity, because there's a lot of times I'm like, man, I wish I could have got in when a price was this particular point, or a price was this particular point. The opportunity is here, it's coming. It's like the stocks are going back down. You gotta see the stock market is like you're being hooked up to a heart monitor. It goes up and down, up and down, up and down. So I got me a little dry powder now. Because when I didn't have none, it was at a price point where I didn't want to get in. But now is at a price point where I can get in, and I'm hoping it go down even lower, because I know it's gonna go back up. So when you understand, the key here is to understand and see, a lot of times, like in messages when you're preaching, they miss the shouting point. These stocks have memory. They go up and down, up and down. And when it goes down, like you say, buy the dips. I've been buying the dips. That's how I'm able to afford to expand my portfolio and get my positions up. You know, like they tell you to get you about a good solid 10, 12 positions, and then just build your positions. And I'm able to build my position dollar cost averaging especially when the dips. And so I'm like, man, I'm so excited. I can't stand it. I want it to go down even lower. So I can please go down some more. And I know it's coming back. Please go down. Pretty, please go down some more. Because I know they're coming back. I know they're coming back without a shadow of a doubt. Buy the dips. And so I want to please go down. My wife say, honey, we got this money just sitting here, because she's listening. Bridget listening. I said, hold on, baby. I'll say this, and I'm gonna get it done. I'm done. And so I put my phone on mute because she wanted to get an understanding of what Buffett was trying to say. It's like this. You got a Michael Kors purse.
Talk.
Okay. You see what I'm saying? You got a Michael Kors purse. Now, you and another lady walking down the street, she bought the Michael Kors purse at $350. You got it on a discount at $50. Now, whose purse is better? Y'all got the same Michael Kors purse. Who's the smartest?
Hey, Dana, let me add one step further, Dana.
$50.
Let me add one more step, man. Now you done took your $50 purchase and you put it out there on Facebook Marketplace or something.
Come on now.
Sell it for $225. Who's the winner? Who's the
That's
winner?
what I'm saying.
You know, who's the winner?
Be on standby. This is the standby season with your dry powder, bruh, and get it on discount. I'm waiting on the discount. I'm a discount purchaser.
I love it. I love it. I love it. I say all the time, man, and then we're gonna get it. The time is on, man. I got a major presentation, man. We get in the bag tonight, all four corners. But I love it, man. I say all the time, Pastor Burrell loves Dillards. I mean, he's a Dillards type of pastor. He loves Dillards. And every time I talk to him, he say, Griff, Dillard got some great sales going on, man. They got some suits, they got some shorts, they got all kind of stuff. So why would I be in Dillard's and Dillard's get on the PA system and they say, hey, listen, for the next hour and 25 minutes, everything in the store is 95% off. You think I'm gonna run out of Dillard's?
You might get run over. You better get out the way because they coming. Hey, Tim, let me just share this real fast, man. And the dialogue is great, by the way. Dana, I just want to say, man, Dana and I had the pleasure of, building about a month ago on the phone, man. And I just want to say, Dana, man, I'm so proud of you, man. Just your level of understanding. Yeah. You said it before, understanding. I'm just going to say it, y'all. Dana gets it. And when I hung up with you down, I talked to Tim about an hour later. I said, man, Dana gets it. I said, Dana gets it. And some of the stuff Dana shared with me, it's powerful stuff. And I'm just I'm proud of you, man. I'm so happy that you can see it, and it
I'm
gives you an
loading up the boat,
outlook,
man. I'm
you know, for
loading
that
it up.
future. I love it.
Loading it up.
I love it.
Load the boat, Dana. Load the boat.
Loading it
Hey,
up.
listen,
Yes,
fam.
sir.
Tonight we're gonna go ahead and move. It's 8:47. You know, I want to get you out of here by 9. I don't see any other hands. All right, so that was Dana's hand. But listen, we're gonna go ahead and get into it. I told you last week, it's green energy, green energy, green energy, green energy. Hey, so I want you to tap in right now. I want you to lock in. I want you to get ready, get your pens, because we're gonna talk about some stuff tonight with that energy and all of that Dana talking about. I think if you get the presentation tonight, there's going to be some major opportunities for you. All right. So let's talk about it. Let's get into it right now. 4 presidents, 4 wealth opportunities. And that's what I want to deal with tonight for just a little while. We've had 4 presidents, 4 previous presidents, and each one of those presidents, there were wealth opportunities. I've been doing this research for the last month or so, and I'm ready to present tonight. I'm pregnant with this opportunity, and I hope you all see this presentation tonight, and you'll be able to see the sentiment, and you'll be able to do your DD after it's concluded, and you'll be able to see what I saw a while back from just looking at these particular presidents. All right, so we got 4 presidents and 4 wealth opportunities. Each president that has been inaugurated has ended up causing certain explosions in different areas of the stock market. And the impact it's shown in the markets during the Clinton, the Bush, the Obama, and the Trump presidencies. This is the power of federal spending, all right? President Bill Clinton, when he was in office, which is exactly what Bill Clinton did. President Bill Clinton, his whole thing when he was in office was IT. He was Mr. Information Technology. So his first year in office, when he issued his technology policy for America and said, each year, I plan to devote a significant portion of my 4-year $80 billion Rebuild America Fund to laying the groundwork for the nation's technology infrastructure needs in the 21st century. And it was technology policy for America. All right. When Bill Clinton was in, certain stocks soared. GE soared, Microsoft soared, Cisco Systems soared. Then we get to George W. Bush. He promoting innovation and competitiveness. Because we can see the same thing when George W. Bush issued his New Generation of America Innovation Agenda in 2004. His was his platform. Reform education, President Bush proposed, and Congress passed sweeping education reforms that introduced measurements and accountability into public education system. Improved math and science education. President Bush signed into law legislation that provided $160 million in 2002 for a new math and science partnership program. These funds are a down payment on the ambitious 5-year, $1 billion initiative. This program will link elementary schools and secondary schools with technology-savvy colleges and universities to strengthen math and science teaching. His innovation and competitiveness caused companies like ticker symbol MO, Altria Group, to soar. All right. So we leave Bush and then we get to Obama. What was Obama? Clinton was in technology, IT. Bush was in innovation and competitiveness. Obama was in healthcare, improving healthcare for all Americans, President Obama promised that he would make quality, affordable health care not a privilege, but a right. After nearly 100 years of talk and decades of trying by presidents of both parties, that's exactly what he did. Today, 20 million more adults gained access to the health coverage. We're driven the uninsured rate below 10%, the lowest since we've started keeping the records, and built stronger, healthier communities through advancement in public health and science and innovation. All right. When Obama was in office, stocks like ticker symbol ULTA, Ultra Salon, saw gains of 4,350%. Those were the returns. Stock now is like well over $300. Stocks like ticker symbol REGN, Regeneron Pharmaceuticals, saw gains of over 2,294% on the returns. That stock now is like over $500. The New York Times, fine-tuning led the health bill, $940 billion price tag. All right, biotech stocks took off under the Obama administration. In just 1 year, saw a series of pharmaceutical companies with major returns. Now we get to 45. In 45, he was big on 5G. He decided to switch gears from government's federal spending and focus on winning the 5G race. 45, spending bill paves way for 5G. This was an article posted by CNET. The 1.3 trillion US government spending bill just signed into law includes a bipartisan effort to accelerate the spread of 5G in the US. Under 45's administration, companies like Cina Corp, ticker symbol CINA, soared. Companies like ticker symbol CSCO, Cisco Systems, soared. Companies like IFNNY, Infrenotech, soared. Companies like ticker symbol MAS, Masco Corp, which is like an offshoot of Lowe's, soared because of this spending. All right, we get to our current president. Now Biden proposes more than $2 billion for clean energy infrastructure, $14 billion increase in climate spending. The Biden plan for a clean energy revolution and environmental justice. Joe Biden knows there is no greater challenge facing our country and our world. That's why he's outlining a bold plan, a clean energy revolution to address this grave threat and lead the world in addressing the climate energy. Biden believes that the Green New Deal is a crucial framework for meeting the climate challenges we face. It's powerfully captured two basic truths, which are at the core of his plan. One, the United States urgently needs to embrace a greater ambition on the epic scale to meet the scope of this challenge. Two, our environment and our economy are completely, totally connected. CNBC posted this article, how Biden's 1.7 trillion climate plan would change America after Trump's big oil presidency. And this is why everyone on Wall Street is raving about the potential returns that this federal spending will create in the green energy market. Wall Street Journal posted this: green energy is finally going mainstream. Green energy will overtake both gas and coal globally by 2024. There's 150,000 gas stations, or like we used to say in Liberty City, Miami, filling stations countrywide. Biden proposes 500,000 charging stations by 2030. Goldman Sachs posted this in Reuters. Reuters posted this about Goldman Sachs. Goldman Sachs has committed to invest $750 billion in companies that are going green. 750 SNS. That's with a B, not million. He also put together his very own climate crisis army to make certain this clean energy revolution, it will happen. Biden's $2 trillion clean energy plan is larger than the gross domestic product, the GDP of Saudi Arabia, Turkey, Ukraine, and Argentina combined. I'm gonna say that again. Biden's $2 trillion clean energy plan is larger than the gross domestic product of all of those countries combined. This is some serious stuff, family. This is the power of federal spending. Biden makes green energy priority number one. And I truly believe in a few years, investors will look back and compare it to Apple as well as Netflix. I'm gonna stop right there, family. I want you to see. I want you to see. It's 8:59. I got 1 minute to spare. The power of federal spending as it pertains to the green energy new plate. We need to get in there. It's no better time than now when we're seeing all these dips. Everything is in the red now. And I'm gonna give you some ticker symbols tonight. I'm gonna give you some plays of the week that you can start looking at, do your DD, and find out which plays you want to get in and make the money. Because as you can see, with all of those administrations, certain stocks soared. And we have to be attentive to that. And that's our aim here on SNS. We want to educate, we want to empower, we want to impact, we want to excite, but we also want to make money, and we want to get in before everybody else get in. All right. So last week I gave you some ticker symbols, and a lot of those stocks, if you looked at them, I hope you went and wrote them down. Those stocks pulled back. I gave you last week ticker symbol SPWR, which is SunPower Corp. It pulled back. It's at 22.65. Look at where it was Sunday night when I gave you that stock. Look at where the price was. Last Sunday night I gave you Plug, PLUG, Plug Power. It's at $26.01. Look at where it went, where it was at last week when I gave it to you. And here's the ones we talked about all the time. There are about 4 charging station companies that's out there, but the biggest of them is ChargePoint, ticker symbol CHPT. That's my baby. I've been making money on ChargePoint all year long, and she's pulled back. She's at $22.96. And what you can do, family, if look at the 52-week low, and then look at the 52-week high, and then you make a decision based on how this stock has fallen, how much it's pulled back, and do you want to get in? ChargePoint is a great stock, and it's going to soar again. These are money-making opportunities. But again, you got to have some dry powder if you're going to take advantage of what's on sale. I don't care how many malls you go to, and I don't care how much they put on sale. But if you don't have any money in your purse, if you don't have any money in your wallet, you can't take advantage of none of those sales that they have on in the mall. All right. Here's another one. Blink. Blink is right here in South Beach. Ticker symbol BLNK. This is a charging station center that's in South Beach. They right here. Go to their website. They're right here. They're right here in Miami. Blink Charging Company. They're at $30.43. Look at the 52-week low, and then look at the 52-week high, and then you do the average in between and see what kind of wiggle room there is. All right. Here's another one. Fuel Cell. Ticker symbol FCEL. All right. It's at $6.55. Yeah. I didn't freeze. $6.55 per share. All right, I gave you last week Vivint, ticker symbol VVNT, Vivint Smart Home. It's at $12.13. All right. Last week I gave you ticker symbol B as in basketball, L, D as in dog, P as in Paul, BLDP, Ballard Power System. It's at $15.15. And Buff gave us one tonight that I'm definitely getting in tomorrow. Jemiah, ticker symbol JMIA. That's not a green energy play, but that's just a great stock. It's pulled back to $22.60. That's a great play. All right. Let me give you a couple more green energy plays. And the reason I'm giving them to you, that, say for instance, you go to, I want to give you this this strategy. Say for instance, you go to Market Watch, or you go to Yahoo Finance. You can put in, let's say you put in Plug Power. You can put in Plug, ticker symbol PLUG, and then you can go down and you can see its comparison stocks, the stocks that analysts are comparing it to, and then you can find some other stocks based on that particular stock that you're looking at, and you can find some other offshoots of some plays that you say, well, wow, I never knew about this ticker symbol, because you looked at the comparison of Plug. You can do that in each one of these stocks, the green energy stocks I'm giving you tonight. And you may find some things that I didn't even discover. And you can come back and say, hey, Griff, hey, SNS, I want y'all to look at this stock. This is another good one. All right. Let me give you these last 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, these last 5 ticker symbols. And we'll take a little Q&A, and then we'll get out of here. I'm 4 minutes over my time. All right, here we go. Ticker symbol BE. It's Bloom Energy Corp. B as in basketball, E as in Edward. Last week I gave it to you. It was at $23.36 a share. Right now it's at $20.24. So even that is pulled back $3. All right. Here's another one. NESR, ticker symbol NESR, National Energy Services. Last week when we talked about it, it was at $13.92. I didn't give it to you. I just wrote it down. It's now at $13. So it's pulled back 92 cents. Here's another one, ticker symbol WHD. It's Cactus Inc. Last week it was at $38.61. It's pulled back about $3-4. It's at $35.91 right now. So all of these are major buying opportunities based on what you want to do. And here's another one that I like, Siemens. It's ticker symbol SIEGY, and it's Siemens AG. And last but not least, Boom, ticker symbol BOOM. DMC Global. It was at $57.05 last week when I was watching it. And it's in the industrial service sector. It's now at $50.79. So it's pulled back $7. So there's a lot of buying opportunities. But that's what I wanted you all to see. I wanted you to see the power of federal spending. Each one of these presidents, there was major wealth opportunities to be made based on their initiatives and what they put their administration behind. And Biden is talking about two things. He's talking about domestic infrastructure, and he's talking about green energy. Let's get above the wave before all of these policies start passing. Let's get into some of these positions. You don't have to get in all. You may say, hey, I'm gonna get me, one good green energy stock, and I'm gonna get me one good infrastructure stock that I believe in based on all of them. So you just took 2 positions. You don't need to have 8, 9, 10 positions. No, just get you 2 in those sectors and ride them out. Okay. So hey, Kev, let's do a little Q&A, and then after that, we're gonna ask Pastor Felton to close us in prayer.
Yeah, no problem. So if anybody has any questions at this time, let's go ahead and get them out there.
Yeah, Doc, if you don't mind, where do you see the Gap stock heading?
Oh, that's a good question. You should have asked the Gap man when he was on. That's Buffett's baby. Buffett has Gap in triple digits. Yeah, he has Gap in triple digits based on his research, based on everything he see. It's been a little delayed now. I think was that Pastor Dozell. It's been a little delayed now because of the fact that Kanye is slow to put the line out. So it's been a little slow, but Gap should be in the triple digits. I'm heavily invested. It's pulled back. I'm in the red, but I'm staying right there because it's always been good for me, and I'm just gonna buy more. I'm just gonna buy me some of the dips. I really am. I can't wait for the market to open tomorrow. I'm just like, I want it to open now. I'm ready to jump in now. You know, so I think that's what Buffett says. We've seen the research on it. I hope I agree. And if you don't have any Gap and you can get in Gap now, this is a great time to get in. Especially, I think it's what, Kev, we at $28 now?
It's $28 and some change. Yep.
Oh, great buying opportunity. Whoa, that's a great buying opportunity. So,
I have a question, Griff.
yes, sir.
I was having this conversation with my wife earlier about Biden's, he's investing in electric cars because one of his big things is he's trying to reduce the carbon print in America. And
Yes.
they are a big push on electric cars. What I don't understand is why am I seeing so many new gas stations being built when there's a big push to reduce the carbon print in America, and every major car company is producing, they're being mandated to produce electric cars, hybrids, and why are these gas stations popping up now, and we're trying to reduce the carbon print?
My guess would be, Dana, I don't understand it either. I've seen that phenomenon, but it's a ways out because Biden is looking to have all of this done, 500,000 charging stations by 2030. So I guess their play is there's still some more money to be made, and they feel like they can be profitable before that really they know it's going to change. Because I'm gonna tell you, man, I used to love serving Dana. Oh man, I used to love Radio Shack. Oh man, I could go there and get my batteries. I could go there and get all of my little whatnots, all my little electric stuff. I used to love Radio Shack, but you can't find Radio Shack no more. Radio Shack is gone. I mean, another one I used to love serving. I used to love Blockbuster, man. Go in there and get me some popcorn. Me and my wife can get us some popcorn, and I can go to the different sections and get the movies in Blockbuster.
Gone.
Can't find Blockbuster no more. And that's going to be the same thing with these gas stations. You ain't going to be able to find them no more. I'm going to give you one more since I'm on this whole thing. Man, I remember when we had the beepers, man. I was talking to my daughter, man. I said, you know what a telephone booth is? She looked at me and started laughing. She didn't know what a telephone booth was. I said, we used to have to pull over and go to the telephone booth and call people. Telephone booth's not around no more. And I think that's what's going to happen to a lot of these gas stations. But in the short, I think they probably feel like there's still some profit to be made, and they're trying to get in.
Yeah, Tim, I'll add to that, man. Dana, I think that a lot of these gas stations that they're building the convenience stores that come with it. Now, although most people, pull in to get gas, there's some convenience stores, man, that carry a lot of that business too. So I think a lot of these folks that are opening these places, they could be trying to establish their footprint and kind of preparing themselves, for the transition, because you got to understand something. It's going to transition from what they call gas stations today to serving service stations tomorrow. You know what I mean? Once we get to electric, the convenience store aspect will still be there. And it might be charging stations, at this particular place. Like up here, we got Wawa's and Quick Checks. And man, when you pull into one, man, it's like a super convenience store with the gas station attached to it. Now imagine if I can pull into this facility, charge my vehicle, and they convert the convenience store a little bit to where there's seating and things in there where you can get more food and services. Now you can sit down for an hour or two if you wanted to, get something to eat while your car is charging. So a lot of these people, they might be positioning themselves because it is a very profitable business. I know a few people that own gas stations, and it's fairly profitable, man, with the convenience stores.
Well,
attached to
Kevin,
it.
let me just tell you that Wawa already has an outdoor place for you to sit down and eat and fellowship
See that? Yeah.
already. And I
Mhm.
want to say this too. I think a lot of these people who are still building gas stations are also saying just what you just are thinking what you just said. In 10, 20 years, when we're all converted, they're going to be ready to transition. Don't think
Yeah.
they're not already thinking about that. Their property is built so they can make that transition in 10 years. And you got to look at the people. I mean, y'all going 7-Elevens was gone and now they coming back. Y'all seen that?
Yes,
You have you
yes.
seen
Convenience.
that?
Convenience
Yeah,
store.
exactly.
Yeah.
But guess what else? It's who's owning these 7-Elevens. And these people are preparing for the next wave of energy. So they're building a filling station now because they want the property, they want that real estate so that when they want to convert and have that, that that to be able to people to charge their cars, they already got the property. So they're already thinking long term. They're not thinking short term. It's the same thing I said last week. Even when you're buying stock, make a decision up front. Are you buying it for trading and you're going to trade it in a few weeks, or are you going to ride this sucker out for a few years and really make some money off of it? You got to know that decision. Well, these people are making those decisions as well.
Right.
Wow.
Oh, that's good stuff. That's
You
good
guys
stuff.
familiar with this new huge gas station called Buc-ee's? Have you ever heard of Buc-ee's?
No, is
Haven't
that
heard of
in that Atlanta area?
It must be Atlanta.
Oh, it started in Texas.
Oh wow.
And yeah, they just built 2 in Georgia, and they have 2 in Florida. They have one in Daytona and one just below Jacksonville. It's called Buc-ee's. And I'm telling you, it's huge gas. They have food. It is huge. Just look it up. Buc-ee's.
See that?
And
You just said
quickly,
it. That's what I'm talking about. Go ahead.
last thing, remember about 5 years ago, everybody was going to racetrack. Racetrack had the best coffee, the best. Wawa don't just erase racetrack right off the map.
Right.
Yeah,
You
Wawa
go
ain't
to
no joke.
Wawa, they got everything in
Everything.
there. And then now they got tables outside.
Right.
Man,
So
let me
they
tell you
saying,
something.
hey, fill up, eat some
Wawa,
food, and visit people.
Wawa has nothing on Buc-ee's. You got to go
That's
see.
what I'm saying. Now you talking about a Buc-ee's. So it was racetrack, now it's Wawa, and now you're
Now
talking
it's
about Buc-ee's.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Buc-ee's
and then
will
after
blow your
that, it's
mind.
gonna be charge point because they're gonna
There
be
you go.
charging them electric vehicles.
Yes.
Yeah. That's
Hey,
what's going to happen.
I want to give you all another ticker symbol. Breaking news. Write this down. This is a good one. It's ticker symbol LEV, Lion Electric. Write that down. Do your DD on that one. I think that's one that you'll love. Go ahead, Kev. I'm sorry. I just want to give them that real quick before I forgot.
No. I was just kind of going with the point we were making about these gas stations. Dane, it was a good question. That's just my thoughts. I think that these people know what they're doing. It's good business. I think they're staffing up. They got, like you said, they got the real estate, and it's not going to be a gas station in the future. It's going to be a service station, and anything that you need, they're going to have the facilities there for you to get it. You can charge your car like Buc-ee's. You could come in, plug your car in and go in and sit and have a meal. And when you finish your meal and pay your bill, like at a restaurant, you go get in your car and you're ready to go again. So that's what I think they're doing. All these new stations popping up.
Interesting.
Yep.
Any other questions? Any other comments before we get ready to have Pastor Felton to pray us out? I mean, it's been good. It's been grand. And I'm just excited about what's happening this week.
That was a great presentation, Minister Griff. You
Thank
just
you
did
so
you could have helped me with my economics thesis, so I'm calling on you next time.
Okay.
I want to add one thing. For those that are thinking about, leaving money in for a long period of time, I've been looking into these index funds, and I'm watching the index funds, waiting for those to drop a little bit more. Yeah, and jump in on those. For me, I think that is a better investment, or I should say a better investment. It is an investment that is good for the way I operate, because I don't look at the stocks every single day.
Well,
That's
you
the
know,
Vanguard
our
account that I be
index
talking
person
about,
is
Tim.
Kevin. Kevin is our big index.
I'm an advocate for that Vanguard account. Vanguard is they do index funds, and that's Roz, that's one that it's a part of my diversification. I actually enjoy watching the stocks daily and seeing what's going on. And hey, I got a haircut like Tim's. If I had hair, I'd be done pulled it out. But I actually enjoy the excitement of it. But the diversification, I've transitioned over to index funds as well. Some years back. And that's just for more security. You get a nice base percentage. You can kind of rely on it, but just like the markets, it does dip sometimes, but it's a pretty reliable percentage. So I like it for diversification.
Right. Yeah. I'm looking for the dip.
Yeah. I hear you. A good point to get in. Yep.
Okay.
Right. We have any more questions?
Hey, Brother Grip, I want to say one thing, man. Kind of going back to them service stations. This is Kershaw. Also,
Hey,
man,
Kurt.
I noticed a lot of. I've seen a lot of Targets, a lot of convenience stores. In a sense, they have charging stations in the parking lot. So I think that it's going to most definitely be a big shift with that green energy, just alternative energy coming in. Because I'm starting to see, like in the CVS and Walgreens parking lots, they have charging stations, and then like you go to the malls, they got charging stations. So most definitely, like these blinks and plugs, that's most definitely the way to go.
Yeah, man.
And
Think about.
I'm familiar about that buckets too.
Yeah. Well, think about this. Right now, we you travel the roads, you got gas stations all over the place. You pull in, they pump your gas, you get your gas, and you go. Within 5-10 minutes. Now with these cars, sometimes it takes a little time to charge your vehicle up. Now, you look at these charging stations that we see at random locations now. They might have 5-6 charging stations. There's quite a few electric vehicles out there, but once they convert, completely where the majority of vehicles are electric and the massive vehicles on the road are electric, imagine pulling into a place with the existing charging stations that we have now, where all of the majority of cars have been converted. You're going to pull in and be like, oh man, it ain't no charge. I guess we got to go down the road and try to find somewhere else. And then you go down there and it ain't nowhere to plug in. So I'm telling you, these people know what they're doing. There will be charging stations everywhere. When you consider that the majority of vehicles that are on the road are electric, you're going to have those amount of charging stations out there. So these people are staffing up to build what I'm calling these service stations, because they're going to be packing them in. Tim, we might want to look at that. We might want to start looking at putting a couple pennies aside, man, and start building us some charging stations, man.
Right.
Putting them, how you go to a gas station sometime, man, and they got that little one vacuum cleaner that sit off to the corner where you can vacuum your car.
Right.
Well, we'll go buy us a charging station, man.
But you know what? That may be something, because that's how they start them little snack machines. You get your M&Ms, you get Snicker, you get that. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? That may be something to look at. You're exactly right. We go around and just have some charging stations. Get some partnerships with a couple of companies and say, listen, we want to come put a charging station up here.
That's it. Just like them vending machines, man. Hey, y'all got charging stations? Nah, we don't have no charging. We a dry cleaner. Oh, well, we need to come talk to you then.
Right.
Right. We're going to put a charging station in your parking lot. So I really think that's why a lot of these places are popping up, though, Dana and family. I think that these people are smart enough to realize that when this stuff really transitions, it's going to be a lot of cars on the road that need to get charged. There's quite a few of them out there now, but we haven't even hit the tip of the iceberg in terms of, electric transition. So it's going to be crazy.
I know we got to go. As y'all talking, and my brain is like going around in circles. Listen, if you're going to go to a charging station and it's going to take time, you're going to want them in places where you're going to already be staying for, like you going to the movies and dinner. You drive into the parking lot, and they got a section that has nothing but charging stations, or or you're heading to the mall, like you said, and ladies gonna shop for 3 or 4 hours. That ain't me, but ladies who shop for 3 and 4 hours.
Hair salon.
You know what I'm saying? Yeah.
Everywhere.
And
What about what about on
someplace where
Saturday
it's gonna
when they
be.
out there, when the kids out there playing Pop Warner football and parents out there all day?
And there's a charging station. So you come in and park, but you park in a spot that you can get your car charged at the same time.
I like it.
I'm telling you, that's what's
something
going on.
else right there.
That's what's going on.
Griff?
Yes.
Hi, it's Greg Trent.
Hey, how you doing, sir?
All right, how are you? I just,
Good.
from all this conversation, I thought you might want to add Beam, BEEM, to your list.
Yes. Yes.
They are a company that has developed a solar-powered charging station.
Wow.
That charges to 12 cars, and it takes up 1 parking space in space.
Mm.
So
What
you can
ticker
charge
symbol was
12.
that again? Say it again.
Beam.
Ticker symbol is BEEM.
Yes, Beam.
And don't be confused because the company name is BEAM, but the symbol is BEEM.
Okay. Do you know what they're trading for right now?
I believe it's around $6.
Wow. That's a great buy.
Yep. Yeah, I've been watching them for a little while. It's almost time to get in.
Okay, let me ask you something. Would you know right off what their 52-week high is? No?
Just if you give me a second, I might be able to tell you.
Okay. Ticker symbol BEEM, family.
So that's Beam Global. If it's Beam Global, they're trading at $29 right now. If it's the same company, and the 52-week high was $75. If it's the same company.
Yes, $29.
Yep.
I was thinking of another company, but yes, $29.08.
Yep.
The 52-week high is $75.90.
That's on sale when you say, Greg?
Yep.
But the 52-week low is $10.53.
Yep.
Okay. I like that one. That's good. See, that's what I'm talking about when we got family members giving us that good insight like that. That's a real good grab. Thank you so much. Thank you so much, sir. Anybody else got any good jewels out there? I like that one. Beam. All right. Well, hey, Pastor Felton, how you doing, man? Come on live and pray us out. Family, it's been a great week, great weekend. Hope you all had a wonderful, wonderful service today. We celebrated 75 years of ministry at our church today. Our church was 75 years old today, and we had a wonderful, wonderful celebration. And we just going on with the Lord. So I hope you all had wonderful Sundays, wonderful services. And Pastor Felton, unmute your line and give us your thoughts of tonight, and you can pray us out, sir. Pastor Felton, it is on you.
Well, it's good to be here tonight. I thank you all for all that I've heard tonight. I think it was very, very, very good tonight. I really enjoyed the information. You know, when I listen to you all talk about those charging stations, just think about, I worked one time in the city of Plantation, Florida, in the shopping area, right off of University, right by the food court, they had charging stations. And right now, I live in the city of Riverview, Florida, and we've got a little shopping strip. And in that shopping strip, right by the food section, they got charging stations. Isn't that something?
Wow.
So I think you all are on to something there. But let us pray. Father, we do thank you. We thank you for what we've heard on tonight. We ask that you would give us wisdom, give us understanding when it comes to our decision making. Father, we want to ask you to continue to bless those that are on the line and keep us with a mind to keep you first, and not only keep you first, but understand your word says that you wish above all things that we may prosper and be in good health, even as our soul prosper. And we close it this way. Keep us healthy while you make us wealthy. In Jesus' name, amen.
Amen.
Amen,
And also we
amen.
want to thank God for Bishop Holtz. He's in the air traveling back from Chicago to Miami. So we want to ask God to give him and his wife, Prophetess Charlene Holtz, traveling grace. In Jesus' name, amen.
Thanks for watching. Subscribe now. See ya.